Welcome back, everybody. I'm eager to see how the rest of this Endwalker story is gonna go. I'm not gonna have enough time to go through the end of this, but I want to see how much progress I can do in just 2 hours today. So I'm gonna cut this speech short. Let's see what happens next, because I want to see what happens. I want to see how we're gonna deal with this conflict after all these years. Here we go. So here we go. We are at this part of the quest called Hither and Yarns. I already did the additional side quests already to get all the Aether Currents, aka the way to fly around. So here we go. Couldn't do this the last time, so let's see how the story's gonna build up here, because I want to see what happens next. Here we go. What are you doing out here? No, I don't mind if you help with the boxes. But it's far from the most exciting of tasks. You sure? Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Aporia. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimens and samples, so I'll try not to be too rough with them. Nothing should be awaiting for us when you arrive. I'll see you there. Okay. 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 Stay on the main road and we should be fine. Or I could have done the most smartest thing, turning into a crafter, but I don't think the game will allow us to do that. Fine, it's fine. So, this arc. I wonder where it's gonna be. Is it in the middle there? Who knows? Please tell me those enemies are in the way. Let's go around. That's fine. Not taking any chances. Oh, you're helping with the crates. Wonderful. You could put that there with the others. You have my gratitude, but how did you come to be involved in this? Well, it's a tale. Then I suppose I have Thancred to thank as well. If you're wondering why we were tasked with bringing these boxes to Aporia to begin with, so was I. Turns out that this is a base of operations, of sorts. Those with final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Father included, I suspect. That should be everything. Oh, that was quick. You carried all of that at once? Are you trying to enjoy yourself? Oh hush, they're lighter than they look. Not everyone has your delicate arms. I suppose you'd let someone know that we've finished. Teopod is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You get recorded for your assistance, at least. Considering where we are, we might even learn something interesting. Okay. The slow build up to this arc. Is it the same one on the title screen? And how are they gonna do the reveal for it? I'm curious. This must be Theobaldine. Keep thinking that I've seen him elsewhere. I cannot for the life of me remember when. God, it never ends, does it? What can I do for you? You brought samples from Shoreline Hamlet, Series 110. The crates are by the entrance. Ah, thank you. I've expected one of my colleagues, but we're dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. You're fortunate children, you not? Fidonanose, at your service. You're well acquainted with father, I take it. Quite. I've been with friends with your parents since our days at the studium. I remember when you were yee-high, waddling hither and thither. Clearly, it's been quite some time since we've met. It's good to see you again, wielding your father's nullets, no less. You knew our parents when they were young. What were they like? I spare no detail. I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here. There is some paperwork left for submission. You can help with that, in exchange for the sort of stories our parents would never willingly divulge, of course. Very well then. There happen to be 3 sorts of documents you need a delivery, so how about you each take one? Wait right there. You'll find a form representative waiting to collect these near the Sunmer structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind, Alpino and Alize. I'm certain they'll be back soon enough. Okay. So, slow build up. Okay. Are you not one of the signs of the 7th Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working on the other burner. Well, we got some paperwork. Tip all this paperwork. I was beginning to worry he had misplaced his quill. We sure help you in seeing these documents to my hands. At last. As for your other task, pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, China has ever been a nation of the curious. It would be a tragedy indeed if you were the ones to stymie your pursuit of truth. Okay. So, how do we get to this arc? They're still not showing us. Let's see. Quick and efficient. I dare say you have a talent for this work. Twain's paper only need to be delivered to elsewhere in this facility, but it should be returning any moment. We return with not a scrap of paperwork remaining on our persons, you will note. You both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe, you struggled out of your sweating clothes, and... That is quite enough of that, thank you. Those compromising stories of our parents that we'd asked to hear, to reiterate. Of course, of course. I've known your father for so long, I must have something. Well, as you know, part of why the delivery of your name garners such respect in Charland is your family's storied history. You too can trace your ancestry directly to those who came aboard Nunkref's Hope, a lineage few can claim. I've never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation. They were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. That's why Nurnkef's pronouncement, renounce the ways of war, and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason, has ever been our family's creed. Until your grandfather's time, aye. Archon Loisdal looked not to Nunkref's words, but his deeds. He asserted, in defiance of his peers, that choosing to save the great and small from the rising tides was the true mark of our founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient prophecy and the fall of civilizations, that led to him to conclude that the issue of conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to his doom. There will ever be conflict, and calamity will follow. Thus, To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. You remember his words well. Indeed, Archon Loizel lived by that personal creed, and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Shoreland or no. No one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet Fortuno could not reconcile Loiso's deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so fervently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fortuno agonized over this contradiction for much of his life. God's father. A son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is it not always thus? Gods knows, Fortuno's cranky old goat. So I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Yet even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day, and that is not an exaggeration in the slightest. You should have seen him when you were born. Barely recognizable, he was, with a kind of dumbfounded grin I had not seen since he first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. Take my word for it, he loves you to an embarrassing degree. But he's also frustratingly single-minded. Once he's decided that given action is for the best, he will stay the course no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, as I'm sure you will agree. I'll say. Thank you for your insight. When next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Oh, please don't let this be foreshadowing. Try not to get me into too much trouble now. I need the forum on my side. Speaking of which, I got to be getting back to work. I have to make sure those specimens you brought make it to their proper places, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak again later. Hail, you three. Oh, Graha, what now? Graha, surely Coco hasn't driven you out of the forge already. For better or for worse, no. However, he has set me a task that requires more than my single pair of hands, and here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Eliza and I have prior commitments, and we have delayed too long as it is. What about you? Can you spare the time? Oh boy, we have to spare more time. Perfect, it shouldn't take long. Oh, you don't say. You don't say. Once forged. Yay. In the event that our, and I quote, promised heap of adamantite falls right out of the bloody sky into my lap, Master Coco wishes to be ready to put the proverbial hammer to anvil at the moment's notice. To fabricate these parts, however, he needs the flames at Coco's forge to burn hotter. He sent me to increase the amount of ether being funneled to his furnaces. Flow of fire expected ether in Labyrinthos is regulated by an elemental reactor out of here, to which I have borrowed the key. The adjustment will require 2 people to carry out safely, but I can explain the process when we arrive. This is we part then. We'll see you in Charlotte Hamlet once the adamantite arrives, if not before. Of course. This way then. We got more busy work to do, sure. Well, at least all the important side quests have been done for the time being. Okay, is there anything else we need to do? Okay, we can switch to a samurai. The Electra is housed within this facility. I'll be able to go inside and adjust the fire ether output. When I do, a rather large amount of water aspected ether will issue from the vent at the top. I expect this to attract at least a few elementals, which would rather not be drawn into the reactor itself. Trust me. Can I ask that you put down any other draw too near? It'll pose you a little trouble, I'm sure. Oh yes, we gotta kill some enemies. Where have we not done this before? Wait here if you would. Yay. Yes. Okay. 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 Speaking of companions, how much XP do we have? Ah, still got a long way to go. Okay. Did everything go smoothly out here? It was nothing. I thought as much. No major complication to speak of inside, either. And the water heater appears to be venting properly. I expect Coco will have been seeing a difference in his forge flames by the time I return. Since I have you, there was another matter I thought to discuss with you. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Part of this I share with everyone, yet you, and only you, have been to help us. As we have established, refined adamantite is a product of Alak, of the Empire's twilight years, in fact. It was a material which saw much use as part of the Alak's efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world, Dalamud, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who would push further, expand Alak's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above, perhaps the greatest was his infamous technologist, Amun. Aim, did he remember his life as Hermes? I believe he had his own reasons. There is no evidence to just suggest that he retained memories of his former life. He only joined the Ascians once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea with such fervor? This may seem far-fetched, but what if souls, like minds, have a personality, so to speak? A natural disposition towards which they are inclined? We know with relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable decline of Alag that moved Amon to resurrect Emperor Zande. The Empire's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. In facilitating Zande's return, Amon provided these languid souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. Or would have, had not Zande had convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with new purpose. Like Hermes before him, Amon was appalled by those around him lived, but could never bring himself to believe that those lives were devoid of meaning. And both of them sought that meaning, that hope, in the distant stars. Such is my theory, anyway. Ultimately, it is the consequences of their actions which matter. Their motives are of no moment, and yet, to reach those stars on wings of adamantite, to travel to the ends of creation and beyond, the promise of hope everlasting, that much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Coco is getting on? Well, Still not quite there yet. Not quite. We are going around in circles. We're going full circle, aren't we? Okay. Yeah, we're just one quest away. I guess we're getting more backstory before we eventually find out how this whole endgame is gonna work. Okay. How is he doing? Okay. I can feel those flames ablazing from here. Glad you found someone capable, Graha, but there's not much left for you lot to do. Unless you could cure up that refined adamantite any faster. Okay. I did thoroughly brief Coco on refined adamantite's history. I only volunteered to go to the reactor because I finished and there was little else to do. Hopefully that dispels any misapprehensions that I was kicked out for prowling on. Bonds of adamantite. There it is. Yep, there it is. We can finally fly after this one. Okay. I do trust you to deliver on your promise. I do. Only... Hey, wait, I want that adamantite. I want it now. We, share your impatience, I assure you. Is there truly nothing else we can assist with in the meantime? I wish. This sitting about's unbearable. Pity the forum frowns on recreational explosions. Well, so long as they can't prove it was premeditated, get you gone. I have mistakes to make. In that case, I suppose I should go and return the key to the reactor. I'll have one more look to make sure nothing has gone wrong, unintentionally or otherwise. I'm certain there are better uses for your time. However, I'll join you in Charlotte Hamlet and Okay. Well, the final quest is here for this zone. Interestingly how there's no picture for this. Okay. Okay. Oh. I think we're gonna get one of these cutscenes again. I wish there were voiceovers. It's one of these cutscenes again, I think. Oh, wait. Might be different this time.
All set, I take it?
Yes.
We finished what we could. Delivered supplies, tracked down escaped animals. Trivial tasks as they may be.
That's enough, don't you think? If there was anything more important still undone, that would be a problem in itself.
The vessel is essentially ready for departure. All that remains is to load the final batch of supplies and see everyone on board. Once we've readied the ether burner, that is.
Ah, had a feeling we might find you all here.
Impeccable
Our
timing.
consultations with the Loperites, too, have run their course. Pleased I am to say that our researchers' concerns have for the most part been allayed, though some insist on making adjustments to the very end. For their part, Livingway and her peers have graciously offered to stay and keep the people company, lest any lingering queries go unanswered.
All that remains is to wait for the refined adamantite.
Alphano, are you there? It's me, Cryle.
Your special delivery has arrived. Round up everyone and come to the harbour at once.
Oh, good timing.
Speak of the devil. Let us go at once.
Oh, how convenient.
Forgive the intrusion, Master Fortuner. I bring urgent news. A great commotion has broken out in Scholar's Harbour. Your presence is requested with all speed.
Now, where might this delivery be? Oh.
Oh, it's them. And the dragons, I imagine. Oh,
I'm sure it's very important, but we cannot accept these without the proper permits.
By the 12! Surely,
everyone.
this can't all be.
Everyone. And I bet the dragons are here too. Them too.
Bleeding hellfire! They're bringing them by sea and by air. All these folks in these crates.
All those alliance races that we did were all not for nothing.
And more on the way. Got your adamantite right here. A bigger haul than any of these sorry bastards brought, and that's no lie.
Yes, because you were charged with seeing the shipments from Gridania and Uldar here, along with your own. Give credit where credit is due.
Sounds like the sorry whinging of a sore loser. An hypocrite to boot. Ain't no way a scrawny whelp like you took a dozen steps inside a Dalamon shard.
I'll have you know I went all the way to the entrance. Furthermore, 'twas my contacts that enabled us to enlist the cooperation of the Sky Pirates.
Left you outside so you wouldn't get anyone killed, did they? Well then, credit where credit's due, you did a right fine job sitting on your ass.
Take that back.
Make me.
I will not stoop to your level.
Oh, God.
My, what a grand welcome party.
Oh, it's you again.
Hancock and Saraban.
We come bearing relics both sacred and Allegan, as well as a few other gifts that may be of help, to be presented with best wishes from the Eastern Alliance.
I myself have come with a sacred relic of Rayson Temple. 'Twas passing fortunate that Senri's dango craving brought us to Kugane. We arrived precisely as Hancock was making his arrangements.
How convenient. Yes. Very convenient.
Upon learning of your need, we made haste back to Hell's Lid, with our dango, never fear, and consulted with the other auspices. All consented to the lending of Tenzin's legendary Phoenix Blade for this noble cause.
If you did all the alliance raids and the dungeons and raids that the game allows you, you get rewarded for all these. It's nice.
Suzaku and Seiryu were nevertheless worried that it might be lost in transit, however, and insisted upon accompanying me to Onokoro, where I had intended to entrust it to our Confederate allies. I thought instead to give it over to Hancock when we chanced to cross paths yet again. But alas, Seiryu remained ill at ease, and ordered me see the blade into your hands personally, or die trying.
We did, of course, need quite the impressive vessel to get it all here in time.
Yes.
Fortunately, our majestic associates have been more than helpful. 'Tis an honor to join the Warrior of Light on another adventure, they tell me.
That is all wonderful to hear, but what of the extraordinary cost? I shudder to think of the ransom we must pay for such a bounty.
Fret not for your coin purse, young Alphino. Lord Lolorito looks ever towards the profits of the future, and thus the East Aldenar Trading Company went to some lengths to reduce the financial liability. And since the Scions funded the entire venture, not a gil need be rendered up in compensation. Everything is already yours.
Oh, nice.
We funded the venture? When?
Don't let the name fool you. This coin keeper knows a thing or two about spending.
Oh, Tataru.
When it comes to capital investiture, a sprinkling of gil here and there will not do. You need enough savings to make waves when it really counts, which is why frugality is paramount.
Oh, yes. Thanks, Tataru.
We also had the benefit of a generous patron. Generous being rather an understatement. She has supported us from the shadows since the very founding of the Scions. We even had coffers to fill.
Mother!
Amelians.
I remain, of course, an entirely neutral party. I simply thought our family's coffers were needlessly full. We can hardly take them with us on your teeny-tiny toy boat, now can we? And would be a shame to leave all that hard-earned wealth unspent.
Especially when the world is ending.
Waste not.
And he is just face palming so hard.
However did you manage so much in so short a time, though? We expected word to reach only a fraction of our allies.
Did I not tell you I have my ways?
Yes, you do.
Erenville, you were involved too.
I received a letter from Cryo after we parted ways in Labyrinthos. She explained what the Scions were trying to accomplish, and why you might soon require the services of the Gleaners, spread across the world as we are. I pray you do not interpret this as a betrayal of Charlia. I accept that the Forum's aim in pushing us to our limits was to preserve what knowledge we have, and I bear you no ill will for it. Yet, in collecting that knowledge, what I came to appreciate most about our star is that there remains so much we do not know. That is why I chose to help the Scions, to combat the obliteration of those countless undiscovered wonders. I held no illusions that they would be less demanding taskmasters. Though, rest assured, if I had, I would have been sorely disappointed. To make a long story short, the whole of the guild ship cooperated to ensure your call was heard far and wide.
The whole world is ending. We need all the help we can get. Yes. It's been a while.
What's this about a ship that can fly to the moon? And why didn't you mention it sooner? The one time you don't beg my aid, your problem's a bloody ship that can fly to the moon.
Sid, you brought the team.
An alpha.
Of course. Garland Ironworks' finest. You need only point us towards my new favorite ship.
Wow.
Oh, I nearly forgot. We stopped by Whirlit before coming here and picked up a package from Gaius. He's still of the mind that actions make for better penance than words, contrite or otherwise, so we offer none of the latter. What he sent is an Allegan relic Valens used in his weapons experiments. Has a fair bit of refined adamantite in it, too.
As you like us not suspect, We've also brought adamantite for Mordona's Dalamud Shard. I admit to some consternation upon first receiving Quoll's message. So few scions remain at the Rising Stones now. Far too few for such an expedition. However, the Gleaners were able to secure us reinforcements. Idleshire's treasure hunters, not least among them. I know. How the Gobbyflock fought. Slowfix's gratitude for the safe return of his daughter has not waned, and he gathered his kin to our side with an astounding quickness. The clash between their machina and the Allegan defences was a sight to behold. I wager even you would have been impressed by the magnitude of the Gobby booms.
Fascinating as all this is, I fail to see how it explains your presence here. Does Razat Han not have more pressing concerns?
That's a good question.
We do. Yet averting the final days would be the most expedient solution. That, and I am indebted to you. Though they chose to take their leave of Thavnair, those you saved in Galimund remain my people. My gratitude is beyond words. 'Tis appropriate that I aid you in kind. If in the doing we bring salvation to others of this star, so much the better. You will recall that I spoke of my father, Midgard Summer, and his journey across the great expanse. As he traveled betwixt the stars, his resplendent scales drank of the ether in those nigh empty surrounds, and imparted to him the strength to persevere. Thinking they might further your cause, I called out to my kin for consent. Ashdaya's answer was silence, as ever. Tiamat and Chrisvelgre, however, responded favorably to the suggestion. My sire, too, stirred from his slumber long enough to speak and say, "Very well." Thus have I brought you his own worm scales. Fit them to your purpose, and seek a worthier fate for us all.
You'd be hard-pressed to find someone else so familiar with the unique properties of dragon scales. So I invited myself along.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
Bugger me, this is so unbelievable. I've gone right back round to believing it again. Forget a 6% gain in efficiency. With all these goodies, we could get 7, no, 10, no, 14 bleeding percent. Think of how far we could go. What we could do with that much power. What we could blow up.
If Kokol is duly convinced, then it must be true. In which case, the Scion's end of the bargain has been fulfilled. Would you not agree?
Reluctantly. Why the creepy music now?
Yes, Father?
I know not what you seek of Hydaelyn, nor for what purpose you would take command of our ship.
It's important. You know it's important. This is not just a joyride, you know. Okay.
Yet this much is certain. To do so will be to dictate the fate of this star and the lives upon it. The lives of each and every creature, in their magnitude and their fragility. Do you understand? And are you prepared?
We have seen and we have felt how much each life shapes this world. And so we are determined to abandon none. We understand what is at stake, and we are prepared to bear this burden.
Oh, please don't foreshadow us helping out.
Then I will bear it with you.
Oh, you're actually being vulnerable now. Oh, how nice of you.
I beg you. Share your struggles with me.
Oh.
As family.
He's being a father now. Oh. He's being a father now. That's nice of you. For once. Give him a hug, come on.
You grasped my fingers with such tiny hands the day you were born. I thought my heart might burst. 'Twas love and happiness beyond expression. Overwhelming. And a conviction so powerful that I trembled with something close to rage. I had heard the final days foretold. I swore to myself then and there that I would not let them steal your futures. The great exodus would succeed, must succeed. No sacrifice or sin was worse than the alternative. If anything gave me pause, 'twas mine own father. The Archon Louisoix openly decried Charlian's policies. A perspective which I regarded with increasing disdain as I grew older. Yet even as part of me thought him a fool. Perhaps I also hoped that he, of all people, would devise a brilliant means to save my children.
Oh, please don't let this be foreshadowing.
A naive hope. But stubborn enough that I could never bring myself to keep you apart.
Please hug, dude. Please hug your children.
No, that was his doing. When he perished at Cartano, as we pulled that twisted slab of Dalamud from the sea, I remembered the warmth of your newborn touch. Chastened, I vowed never again to suffer any interference in my mission to protect you. No matter that you yourselves wished otherwise. Detest me, fight me tooth and nail, I would suffer it, and more, and be satisfied so long as I could force you onto the ship. I was wrong. You two have grown so much stronger and so much wiser than I dared dream.
And looking back, Alfredo was with us at the beginning, and Alize was whatever she was doing. And then we reunited eventually. And here we are.
You have earned the right to walk your own path, and already begun to do so.
Good. Because there are things we care about, and people we love, and none of them is replaceable. Not a one.
It cannot have been an easy journey for you to have come so far.
Please don't let this be foreshadowing.
We shall be glad to acquaint you with the finer details someday, once this danger has passed. All that we have seen and heard, that we have felt and learned in our travels.
Oh god, this foreshadowing is killing me.
Ours is not a kind world, but it is beautiful. Always.
Oh no. Are you quite sure that's wise? After all, someone turns pale and flees the room when he sees so much as an envelope containing word of your adventures. Whatever will happen if he learns what you were really up to?
Amelians. Though I have wronged my children most gravely, I owe you an apology as well. I assumed that it was the Scion's influence that made them so keen to charge headlong into danger. Yours, in particular. I see now that said influence instead brought them together with the many fine people gathered here today. In which case, I hope you continue to guide them.
If we've finished loitering about the harbor, might I suggest we put our plans into motion? People are beginning to look confused.
Perhaps you can spare a few words ere they resume the tedious lugging of cargo. You have no small number of friends and admirers here, after all.
What options do we have? Mass Effect 2 Final Mission is still the best. Even though this is now that Mass Effect 2, it comes kind of sort of close. Sort of. Our moment of triumph is close at hand. And hopefully it's not going to result in casualties.
Your assistance is appreciated. Now, in an orderly fashion, if you please.
Speaking of which, why is the computer... Oh, it's 80 FPS. Good. Well... time has come to claim our prize. Are you prepared? Lizzie sent a letter along with Grenadia's contribution. Seems she traveled there to aid in their Demontite recovery. Evidently, a journey to Grenadia was quite a trial, as was getting into the Delamut Shard, as was reaching its depths. Suspect she'll have a few kind words to say about the Allegans when next we meet. Oh boy, this foreshadowing is killing me. Unaided, we Scions could never have gathered such a bounty. Refined adamantite, relics shared and ancients alike. I find myself quite overcome. If I never see another crate again, it'll be too soon. Cannot wait to see what our friends from the Ironworks do with the ship. I had no idea how massive a weight it was until it lifted off my shoulders. And more importantly, his words were an affirmation that the path we walk is the right one. As part of me might have been satisfied so long as my family and friends survived the final days. To save this star is what we all want most. And if those same people believe that I can help see it done, who am I to say otherwise? Come what may, I'll fight for this world of ours until the very end. Oh please, this foreshadowing is killing me. I apologize for not informing you earlier of Erinvale's involvement. You know, something of a contingency plan. Thank goodness you had immense fellow gleaners to hand, though. It would have been monstrously difficult to locate Sid and transport the Hunnish delegation here otherwise. My throat hurts from directing so many people to Labyrinthos. But that only proves we got our money's worth. We finally managed to clear the harbor, which means the rest is in the engineer's capable hands. Meanwhile, Father has issued to us an invitation. This was agreed. He will reveal the means by which Heidelin may be contacted. We are to meet him at Theporia when we are ready. Given the vital knowledge she holds, I suggest we leave without delay. It transpires, however, the forest method for speaking with her is not without risks. I'm curious to hear what those might entail, but regardless, be warned. Most of those who arrive with Adamantite have offered to stay and see to the remaining tasks that need to. The Forum has already asked for my assistance in overseeing the process, so you don't need to worry about a thing. Thank you, Tatara. We're off to Aperia, then. Okay. Oh, Tatara's waving. I don't want any of you getting hurt, but I do hope you'll bring as much information to Heidelin as you can. For all we know, this is the one and only opportunity we'll get. Okay. Okay. I've already shown the others inside. You want to speak with Clairlane. She has the key to the lift, and she can send you down after me. Okay. Alright. This is what we've been waiting for. Okay. From here, we proceed to the heart of Labyrinthos and its most closely guarded secret, Tamazine. It marks the beginning and end of our efforts, whence we delve to seek audience with the star, and whence we will embark on our journey to the heavens. This way, if you please. Okay. Yep. Here we go. So that's the Ark. Okay. I bid you welcome to Tamazine. Direct your attention towards its center to behold the Ark which we have long labored. As you can see, it was designed as a medium-sized craft, the better to reduce fuel consumption. Miniaturizing magics have been applied to its interior to ensure that the thrust-to-weight ratio does not place too great a limitation on its freight capacity. The ether burner, as you know, has been removed for further modification, but we shall retach it soon enough. I have received word that Coco and several of your allies are working on it with an intense fervor. They are sure to see it done. It was by their expertise that many a prior disaster was averted. If anything, I fear they will not afford us much time for speaking with Highland ere they finish. Point taken. Let us move on. I must warn you again, however, that even with the benefit of our device, to treat with her is not a simple feat. I don't know about you, but the Normandy ship from Mass Effect is much better, in my opinion. But then again, I may sound biased. But I wonder what the ship departure scene looks like. Here we go. To think how many generations labored for this end, and that we aim higher still. We must spare no preparation, and that means speaking with Highland, no matter the cost. I can only imagine the zeal with which they were working on the ether burner. All I can say is that I'm glad we have something to do other than get in their way. Once it's ready, we'll see to it that the ship is put to good use. If meeting Highland proves difficult, even for the forum, then perhaps I... Oh, there's informing for idea at this phase, I'm afraid. I'll do an inform if anything comes out of it. I must learn of Heideling's greater plan. We can only hope that she also knows the current location of Meteon. And we can do neither if we do not focus on whatever trial awaits us within. I doubt this is what Ernville meant when he said there remains much we do not know. But I still can't believe everything that was hidden underneath the city this entire time. It was the Allegans who first combined the mechanical and ethereal sciences into a revolutionary discipline. Given that the ship is nothing short of a technological marvel in that precise vein, Allegan salvage should suit it well. It would seem enchantments most advanced have been woven into the ship's very bones. Wolfson and Bloida were doubtless called upon for their expertise in teleportation magics. You feel it too, don't you? The ship is impressive, but it pales in comparison to the vast primordial power beneath our feet. Okay. I have done what I can to impress upon you the gravity of what lies ahead. Are you prepared? And we can finally fly. Speaking of which, we don't need these things. Okay. Her children, one and all. Oh boy, here we go. Yep, we can fly, but not in this place, I guess. Not in this place. Yep. Yep. Yeah, in my personal opinion, the only other thing I can think of is the Normandy ship from Mass Effect. But then again, this is a completely different franchise. But I'm just being biased at this point. And finally, the long-awaited moment with Hydaelyn. If anything comes out of it. We're finally doing something. At long last. And make for the lift. Yes, we make for the lift at the center chamber. Come. We have finally talked to Hydaelyn at last. Yeah. Alrighty. So, what is the big reveal with Meteon and all this that's been going on for years? Only one way to find out. Here we go. Oh boy, you don't want to know what that is. As a means of communing with the heart of the star, this disappointingly mechanical in design. I doubt there's anything worth worrying over. Not for Hydaelyn's champion, at any rate. Am I the only one feeling terribly nervous? Surely not. The ether here is more brilliant than I've ever seen. They must employ a full cohort of engineers just to maintain the lifts. This doesn't strike me as particularly dangerous, unless one is afraid of lifts. The ship in the way, I didn't even notice this was here. Neither did I. I should hope that the Master Fortuno has more to share, sending anyone stumbling into the Ethereal Sea. Here we go. Which one has the lowest XP of all? Probably Mesh. No, wait, no. No, Black Mage. Okay, here we go. As you all know, alongside our physical world exists an ethereal plane, referred to as the Ethereal Sea. At the heart of the star, the physical and ethereal one are one and the same. Thus, the deeper we go, the easier it becomes to pass between said planes. We utilize this principle in constructing the anti-tower, and once more here in Tumazine. No sooner did the Forum decide that an exodus from the star would be necessary than it began work on this facility. The work culminated in a device that allowed us to peer deeper into the Ethereal Sea than ever before, in search of Hydaelyn's ever fainter echoes. The Itoscope. And you communicate with her through this device? For a time, yes. But since the 7th Umbral Calamity, it has been rare to hear even a whisper. If you wish to reach her, you must journey closer to the center of the star than we have ever dared, beyond the Itoscope. Even so, I make no guarantee that you will find her, nor of your safety. Not so deep in the Ethereal Sea. We understand, but if we are to deliver this world, we have no choice but to try. I know. I only wish we could do more than observe your progress from afar. The Etoscope's ocular lens, by which we may peer into the Ethereal Sea without placing ourselves at hazards, lies above us. Through it, we can watch and guide you. In those swirling depths, there are pockets of ether so dense and turbulent that they can unravel one's soul. If you determine that you are at risk of coming into contact with such a pocket, we will recall you with teleportation magics. To that end, we best be one familiar with the composition of your souls remain here to assist in assessing said risk. Otherwise, there is increased probability they will attract you too early or too late. Please, allow me. I have thought upon this much, and in truth, I do not believe that I am fit to join you in the trials ahead. The events at the Tower of Babel drain me, yes, but even before that, your capabilities far outstripped my own. This is no time to have a weak link in our vanguard, no matter how much he may wish it were otherwise. If I assist in the matter that Master Felshinoth has laid out, however, I may still be of use. Will you trust me to do so? I can think of none I trust more. Compared to all that effort you put into keeping us alive while our souls were in the west first, preventing us from dissolving into ether in a single expedition ought to pose no challenge at all. And even if we did, I expect you would hunt us down and restore us to health somehow. You flatter me, but rest assured that I will be keeping a close eye on all of you. There is one more thing. Those in ages past referred to the Ethereal Sea as the Underworld, our final resting place. In its embrace is memory washed away, leaving only the purity of one's soul, or so we believe. Yet what are these memories? Few think to ask what becomes of them, cast adrift in ethereal tides. Some theorize that they linger for some time, those associated with strong sentiment in particular. In those depths, memories of the departed may even coalesce around you, for hatred or for love. Thus do I caution you to be wary, but also to have faith. Remember those who did gladly extend a hand to you, that they may lift you up once more. Is this a Persona game now? I'm being ahead of myself. And this is a dungeon? Oh, it is a dungeon. Well, 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 okay. Well, well, well. We got ourselves a dungeon run. I wasn't expecting a dungeon, I was expecting a cutscene, but I guess the cutscene happens in the dungeon run. Sure, why not? Alrighty. Well, I was not expecting a dungeon run, but this should be interesting. You can actually form a party. That's cool. I know you can do it with NPCs, but I would rather do this with human players, especially you knowing the mechanics. Yeah, I'm not really sure if anybody from the Freight Company is going to respond, but I'm gonna try. Also, it's getting hot in here. Okay. In the worst case scenario, I may have to switch to tank or healer. Okay. Probably be a machinist. Hopefully this will not be a long queue. Oh god, 15 minutes. Oh my god. I know you can do it with NPCs, but do it boys. Or switch to tank or healer. But honestly, after that last dungeon, you need to know the mechanics of the boss fights. And I didn't, and I refused to look up the mechanics of the dungeon ahead of time. Oh boy. 15 minutes. Oh dear. I don't know. I'll try posting one more time. But honestly, I would rather not be a tanker or healer for the first time. If I was doing a level 50, 60, 70 dungeon, I can do it. But not this far ahead. Oh no. Especially since you don't know the patterns. I do like the art style for this game. It's not Persona, it's not Mass Effect, but I'm glad it does its own thing. It's great. I did try to do the duty roulettes recently, but I was just too tired after a long day. But at least we're doing a dungeon run right now. And later during the week, I think it's Tuesday, we are finally gonna see what's gonna happen to the rest of this plot. God, 15 minutes. I doubt, I don't even know if turning into a tanker or a healer is gonna make it any faster. Or maybe it will, I don't know. Especially at this later part of the game. Yeah, it looks like I may have no choice but to switch to tanker healer. I didn't get any response on Free Company, but I could try the Party Finder. It's been a while since I've used this. Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I might as well try it. Yeah, might as well. Okay. Alright, let's try it. Yeah, this queue is gonna go on for who knows how long. Okay. Duty completion. Okay, we got it. Let's see if we get anybody. I don't. I don't know if we're gonna get anybody. Even just getting one volunteer or two will help. The game basically gives you a jump scare whenever, or jump scares out of a, in a way, when you do get somebody joining your party. It's nice when it does. I'm Sure, you could do it with NPCs, but I'd rather do it with human players, because when you play with when you do a dungeon run with players that have done this many times, it becomes basically follow the leader. And that last dungeon run, if you do not follow the patterns or prepare yourself ahead of time, no, you will die. Sure, you will repeat it over and over again, eventually get through, but I prefer to play with human players if possible. I don't know if we're gonna get anybody on this party finder here. Might as well try queuing it up as a tanker or a healer. I mean, I don't know if it's... I think it's wiser to be a tanker instead of a healer. I don't know. I think tanker... doing a high-level dungeon like this, I think being a tanker is a little easier. I think healing will be a little harder, especially since I don't know where to go during, you know, certain mini-boss fights. I don't know. What time is it right now? I'll give it maybe another minute or two just to see if we get anybody in this party finder. I don't know if we're gonna get anybody. So I might as well just queue up again, either as a tank or healer. Yeah, so far nobody has responded on the... looks like most of the Free Company guys are asleep or something, or they're just taking it easy, so... Yep, looks like we're gonna have to... Yeah, I mean, may have to queue up as a tanker or healer. Yep, nothing so far. Nope. Yep. Sometimes I have gotten lucky a couple of times, but not sure if I'll get it this time. Yeah. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to switch. We may have to take a risk here. See you less than 5 minutes. Let's see if you're gonna get a dungeon run or a party in less than 5. Interestingly enough, when I first started this game, I didn't realize how lucky I was when just playing tanker for a while. It did actually help on the trial and dungeon runs. If I was just focused on DPS, I would have been thinking, why is the queues taking so long? Didn't realize why until later. Well, that interesting journey this has been. Now, the build-up so far to the climax of this expansion is nowhere near the same as, say, other games that I've played, like Mass Effect 2 specifically, because the third one was a bit of a disappointment, which is a big understatement. But when it comes to Mass Effect 2, it was a nice build-up to the efforts just to make it through the mission. But then again, this is an MMORPG. You don't get to have as much writing or choices as much compared to that game. But it's still a commendable effort, to say the least, here in this. Looks like another player is queuing up as well, but they didn't request for help, so... hopefully in 5 minutes or less we'll get something. So, just to kill time, where is the bridge for this ship? Is it at the front of the ship? Is it at the center? Or is it at the back? That's just me speculating when seeing this for the first time. Yeah, where is the cockpit? Or where is the bridge? It's a very good question. Is that the bridge? Hard to say. Yep, don't know. Yep, I hope in 5 minutes we'll get something. I really don't want to be a healer when doing a dungeon run at this level the first time. But if we have to, so be it. I do want to see the rest. Is that the cockpit? With that little... it's hard to say. If anything, the design of this little ship, especially with the back, kind of reminds me of the Von Braun from System Shock 2. Kind of similar in a way. It's kind of similar. Is there anybody gonna start this queue up in 2 minutes? Yep, the Von Braun from System Shock 2 had that little design at the back of the ship. Although that ship was much bigger than this. Oh boy. 4 minutes in, nothing. I may have to become a healer. I really don't want to be a healer. But if it means making the queue time easier, I hope so. Is there any weaponry in this ship? Probably not. I mean, seeing this for the first time, your mind is racing around what this could do. Oh my god, 4 minutes and 40 seconds and nothing yet. Kinda reminds me of a trial back in Shadowbringers. I was queuing both as a tanker and a healer, and nothing. The only way we got through it was doing it unsynced. Oh, 5 minutes and still nothing. Okay. What is a decent healer we can do? Maybe Astro. Fingers crossed. Oh my god, nothing. Now we have to count down 5 minutes again. Is there anybody queuing this for this? Yeah, Party Finder, not much luck. Now we gotta kill another 4.5 minutes just to see if we're gonna get this done. I mean, sure, you could do it NPCs, but I'd rather do it with players because usually they do tell you important information, and then he'll show you, and it's invaluable. The AI NPCs that the game gives you, I don't think they will. I'd rather do it with players. It doesn't feel like you're babysitting them and stuff like that. So. Alright, another 4 minutes. See if we get a party at all. This is the moment that I dread. The queue times. Ah, boy. Four and a half minutes. Oh boy. You know, I'm surprised the final days has not come to Charlayan yet. Not yet. Oh my god, 3 minutes to go and still nothing. Nothing. Oh boy. Another reason why I like to do the dungeon runs for the first time is they get poetics for those that want them. Even just having one volunteer might help the queue times. Three minutes. Okay. Another 2 minutes. Can we get a party? What a miracle. What a miracle. Thought that you would never stop. Okay.
All seems in order with the lens. And I trust you can hear me?
Okay.
Those things are pure malcontent. The residue of lives unfulfilled.
Okay. Well, we got lucky. Okay. Like I was saying in chat, I really don't want to do a dungeon that I don't know for the first time. Better to do that than just... I have no choice, otherwise I don't know how long I'll be here waiting to queue up. Okay. 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 I remember how to heal. Now I'm just concerned of not dying during a boss fight. Okay. Okay. This is a boss fight? Okay. Okay. They have so much health. Oh, that explains it. Okay. Okay. I like this song. I finally found it on YouTube. It's a good theme. That's the thing I dread the most. Not knowing where to go when you do a dungeon for the first time. Okay. 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 I like this theme. Better than all the other ones combined. Feels climactic. Okay. This one is not too bad. Oh god, I completely forgot to bring... Okay. Okay. Okay, not too bad so far. Completely forgot about my MP. Weird that this be over. Thank God.
Follow the flow of ether. It will guide you.
Next zone.
The ether is too dense. Ah, I'm losing you.
The Abyssal Plain. Okay. 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 The visuals for this place. Again? Interesting. Oh boy. Okay. If anything, this kind of reminds me of that one area in Baldur's Gate 3. Okay. Okay. Again, human players always give you a clue what to do. I know NPCs can do the same thing more or less, but nah, rather do it this way for the first time. This time I'm not forgetting my MP. Should be okay this time. Okay. 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 Ow. That hurt. Okay. We're still in it. That's the good news. It's all coming back to me. Okay, same thing again. Okay. Wow, how many objects did they render into this place? This looks incredible. Wow. Cool. What do we fight? Hylian yourself? Okay. Amphilia Spirit. Whatever are we gonna be doing here? I wish I knew. Sinking regret, sinking imparity. Okay. Okay. And here it is. Oh boy.
So bold, so headstrong, stubborn to the last.
And Daniel?
But this is as far as you go. Oblivion beckons!
Fandanio? Hermes? Oh, Amon. Oh. I thought the voice sounded familiar. Okay.
Many faces have I worn, but this is my favorite by far!
Okay.
You will persist in this folly no longer.
No clue.
The stage is set.
Okay. Interesting mechanics. Okay.
Let the curtains rise for the main attraction.
Okay. Okay. The AoEs on the ground, if you give enough time to, if the game gives you enough time to avoid, they're not too bad. But I bet on the high difficulty boss fights, you have to know it exactly or you will die.
My, what a boorish audience you are.
Okay. I'll still do this over a blue mage boss fight any day. Hey. Okay. Well, that's fine, Nia. The queue time was the big problem. I had no choice but to turn into healer, and I only ended up waiting 3 minutes. I tried to do queue as a tanker, 5 minutes went by, nothing. But healer, I got lucky in 3 minutes. But I'd rather not do a dungeon like this on my first try. But I didn't die once, so that's not too bad. I know dungeon runs are usually not too difficult because you're gonna do them over and over and over again for purposes, you know. But I'd rather not do it the first time. Nope, not this one, Nia. Nope. I tried tanky for 5 minutes, nothing. So I tried queuing as a healer, got better luck in 3 minutes. I guess it depends how many people are queuing for this. Cool.
Lies! All lies! Your dreams, your hopes, your futures, delusions and lies!
Yeah, 2 million XP, that's not bad. If you don't include duty roulettes, Nia, it's okay. Once you know what the patterns are, so. How much XP did I get? Ooh, look at this. My Astro's like 75%. That's not bad. Alrighty. I don't need the necklace. I do not need the necklace. There it is. Oh, I don't need this either. I made it this far to the story finally, Neo. So if you want to stick around, I will do a comparison. It should be interesting, I hope. Here's the big cutscene now. Heidelin, after all this time, supposedly. Here you go. So, what now? Oh, Amon is back.
My very essence begins to wane. Sweet, sweet agony.
Leave this to him.
Come to deal the coup de grace. Good. Watching you struggle against the inevitable is bad comedy. Erase me from existence, soul and all.
Do you recall your days as Hermes?
How would you know that name?
Time travel.
Then it was you. In Opus. With them at Suck. The final pieces fall into place.
Oh, hi, Animated Kings. That's a new name. So, I don't know about you, Nia. I welcome new people onto this show of ours. I really do. I've noticed that there's also people that try to get commissions out of me, which most of the time, I'm not really that interested. Just wanted to let you know. And if I was going to do commissions, it's something that I would bring up personally out of nowhere. I know commissions don't come cheap, especially if you want it to be good quality, but I digress. Welcome aboard. Anyway, let's see what happens next. Art in general, not just, you know, for this show of ours, Nia. In general, that sort of a thing. Usually for channel purposes, but you could say art for whatever that involves money or any commissions, but anyway.
In my halcyon days, as the mortal Ammon, I was haunted by a dream. Night after night, the faceless multitude, the voiceless cries, shards of shattered memories. But slowly, the fog began to clear. This was Elpis. And I was Hermes. Recurring though it was, I paid this dream little heed. It was only when I was granted the seat and memories of Fandaniel that I knew these visions to be true. They were the memories of Hermes that he himself erased using the power of Kairos. Or so he thought. In his attempt to burn away the events of that fateful day, he succeeded only in searing them more deeply into his soul. My soul. Death failed to expunge them. No matter how many times it came. Rebirth after rebirth, from one Fandaniel to the next. I wonder, is Emet adrift somewhere in this ethereal sea? In defeat, finally remembering your time together in Elpis? How it must gall him to be entrusted with knowledge of the final days, only to be rendered powerless to act upon it. So many lifetimes dedicated to restoring his beloved Amarok in blissful ignorance. Oh, folly. But make no mistake, my life as Hermes is not the reason I invited the world's end.
Then tell us.
I have lived. I have struggled. I have dredged the very depths of despair. And in the detritus of existence, I found the truth.
And what would that be?
I served a great ruler, powerful beyond measure. The world his dominion. Yet even he and his vast empire were destined to fall, to become one with oblivion. At the end of life's journey lies only death.
And the 9 Divines? Too soon. If you know Elder Scrolls, there's the 9 Divines. I digress.
So I ask you, why live at all? We betray. We torment. We murder. We are wicked, spiteful creatures, without exception. If life is so sacred, so precious, why fill it with such misery?
Because life is not all rainbows.
Man wallows in a hell of his own making without purpose or meaning. To live is to suffer, and I would end that suffering by my own hand. It matters not if it flies in the face of all believed right and just. Death is the only solution!
And if the death is the solution, what else is there left to talk about? It's flawed thinking as well.
That is my truth. My answer to the question. And yet, Even as the words pass my lips, I am filled with doubt. Has my search reached its end? Was this the only way? After all these years, is this the answer I was hoping for?
The lamentations of the damned. How it vexes me to see your conviction falter at the last. Fandango. Still clinging to existence, I see.
Who are you? Oh boy, what now?
You, who champion death so fervently, unwilling to accept your own, refusing to be purified and swept into the sea of souls, as do I. We prisoners to men, watching as the world turns. Though unlike me, you will be spared the ignominy of having your corpse made a puppet, dancing to another's tune.
Are we getting anywhere with this? It feels like we're talking in circles. We're no step closer to finding Mityon, or having to deal with this threat.
Is that Arcee?
How very astute. But let me be clear, I have not come to consort with the likes of you.
Oh, you're back. Thanks. And what are you here for again?
Nor have I come to bemoan the state of the world following my untimely demise. In fact, I delight in mankind's downfall and the anguish it brings the savior of the savages.
Oh yes, of course everything has to come back. Yes.
If I played some small part in the chaos, all the better. Not that I was in any position to resist. But to be made accomplice to the betrayal of Lord Xenos. I would die 1,000 deaths to exact my vengeance.
How animated of you.
Now you are at my mercy. I shall drag us both into oblivion, and you will never see the fulfillment of your magnum opus.
And I thought we would never see the last of him. Fantastic.
Even should you be reborn, your desperate search for answers must start again.
Flatter me. I'll do what must be done.
And what might that be? My wish is all but granted. To die and take you all with me.
Don't try to follow me. I had more of you people than I could stomach in life. Never mind in death.
Likewise. I pray we do not meet again.
You had better hope not.
And we are still not one step closer to finding out. Or why did it not happen earlier? Don't know.
Come. Hydaelyn is waiting.
Sure. I guess we're finally getting to that moment now. So...
Brave travelers, I welcome you.
So, it's... You look different. We meet again. Or not.
I see. Thou didst journey unto Elpis.
Yes.
And now, the rivers of time converge.
Indeed.
I know why you have come. Yet I would hear you speak your reasons all the same.
Neodim, do a quick Google search on your phone or your computer if you get the chance. Hydaelyn, or Venat, it's the same voice actress of Aveline from Dragon Age 2 10 plus years ago. The voice is the same. I thought it was a coincidence, but nope. Same voice actress. No, look it up, Nia. Just look up any scene of Aveline, Aveline, from Dragon Age 2 and listen to the voice. It's the same. I mean, it's been over 10 years I've heard that voice. And when I hear it again from this game, I'm like, is that the same person? It was.
You created the moon to deliver mankind from the final days. But is that really how it has to end? We do not wish to abandon this world. We want to protect the source and all of its shards.
Hydaelyn looks different here, but she looks fine.
To flee is but one of two paths.
Interesting design.
The other leadeth to Meteon, far beyond the stars, where she doth chant creation's requiem.
Yes.
Her domain is formed of dynamis, pure, absolute. Where emotion and memory govern all, ether will avail you naught. Meteon hath gathered the pain and despair of countless stars, and to go unprepared is to go unto your doom.
Yes.
We'll beat her. We'll win. I swear it.
You know what this reminds me of, Nia? The final mission in Mass Effect 2, the suicide mission. Except that in that game, you have a lot more choices to do. Here, you don't have as many choices, but it's kind of similar in a way after all this build-up. Some people do not like that word, but it literally was what you had to do in that game. Even that game tells you that, but I digress.
Is what I might have said, once. After everything I've seen, all the times I've succumbed to my own anger and fear. can no longer pretend that courage and faith will be enough.
No, it's probably going to be a one-way journey for some of these people.
But are we truly so powerless? That our only choice is to flee?
Far from it, my child. Long ago, the inhabitants of myriad stars, many more prosperous than Atheris, sought to free their worlds from life's woes. Sorrow and anger, conflict and hostility, despair, and even death itself. But as Meteon reported, every attempt ended in failure. Darkness abideth within every living being and can never be cast out.
But even through all that darkness, there is some good. Not all. Not all people have some good in them, but there is some. If that makes any sense.
Neither reason nor faith can challenge this immutable truth.
I have to disagree. There is some good. It's not much, but it's something.
To live is to suffer. And in suffering, find strength, and purpose, and hope.
That shot of Hyden right there with that expression. That looks godly. Just look at this shot. That looks so godly, but it also can be very evil at the same time. It could also be the look of, oh, I'm gonna kill these people. But I digress.
As you have done so many times before.
You know, we know.
Thou dost pursue an impossible dream. Yet knowing this, you pursue it nevertheless. And thou hast learned to depend on others as they do thee. Thy yearning for the power to save the powerless hath ever driven thee to greater heights. Thou hast grown strong. Though those closest to thee no longer walketh by thy side, their love remaineth thy guiding light.
Oh yeah, those people that we lost along the way. Horschiphant, and countless others that I can't remember the names right now.
For duty's sake, thou hast been bound by truths unutterable time and time again. Yet thy heart hath never wavered, as thy companions will attest.
Whether you're religious or not, the people that we have lost, they still kind of exist with us, and hopefully it can help as we continue to live on until we also meet our inevitable demise, if that makes any sense.
In thy pursuit of mysteries great, all thou believest is brought into question. Undaunted, thy thirst for knowledge remaineth unquenched.
Look at the lighting here. It actually makes it still look interesting. Very godly as well. It's the lighting. It doesn't matter what game engine you use. If you have good artists, know what they're doing, you can create some nice imagery like this. I'm not an artist by any means, but you can tell. So it's not the computer parts nowadays that's the limitations. It depends on the people that make these games. It really comes down to how creative you are. Anyway.
The fires of hatred that once burned in thy heart burneth no more. From their ashes doth spring the light of love, warm and pure.
Again, the visuals on the background really help sell this.
As witness to black calamity, thou despaired at man's helplessness. Resolved, thou didst unite a distant world on the brink of collapse. And thou, my champion, when all did seem lost, thou never abandoned hope.
We were very fortunate, to say the least. That's all I can say.
For every trial and every foe that did bar thy way, thou hast proven equal to the challenge, drawing courage from the many bonds forged on thy journey. You have all known despair, and though the end approacheth, you walk on, heads held high. Therein lieth your power, the strength to silence the song of oblivion.
Then there is a means to confront her.
Exactly my thoughts.
Yes, if you should prove yourselves worthy.
Oh god, this foreshadowing is killing me. Again.
Hark! Nigh impossible is it to send mortals to the edge of the universe. Should you fail, there will be no second chance. As the will of the star, I ask of you this. Do you possess the fortitude to stand firm when all around you doth crumble? Do you possess the faith to vanquish despair itself? Should you lack the strength to best a supreme deity, I cannot allow you to make the journey. You must leave this star and never return. Prepare yourselves.
Another trial?
Prove ourselves worthy, eh? Sounds straightforward enough.
Aye. No room for confusion there.
In any case, we've come too far to back down now.
So we got a trial to do. Okay.
I am of the same mind. What power I have, I shall bring to bear.
Okay.
The three of you seem to be forgetting who we're up against. It's not every day we battle a divine being of untold power. Well, not quite every day. Do try not to get underfoot. Needless to say, there'll be no margin for error.
Let us hold nothing back.
For the people of this world and those beyond the rift.
Okay.
Alas, the question I posed to thee in Elpis hath remained unanswered these long years. I would hear thy response, warrior of light, shouldst thou emerge victorious.
Is it just me, or is Heidelin's 3D model look a little low res on the texture side of things? I'm playing this game on 2K resolution, but I noticed that compared to all the other characters, it's a bit low res, but it's not a big deal. It was just noticeable. Or maybe it's the lighting, I don't know. Again, look at the 3D model there. It kind of looks, Oh. Of course. From a distance, it looks fine. But when you look up close, it's a bit of a different story. I would rather do this with a party. My first time. I had a long day today. Okay, let's hope the queue time is not going to be terrible. Or in the worst case scenario, is it even possible to do this trial unsynced in the worst case scenario if the queue times are long? I know at level 80 and 70 and below you can do it unsynced, but I'm not sure at level 89 you could do it unsynced to level 100. I don't think so, but I'll have to do it synced. You need more people. I kind of figured. You need more people. But in the lower levels, like 50 or 60, it's much easier with level 100 on your side. Yep, I kind of figured. Oh yeah, in Extreme or Savage or Ultimate is obviously a lot harder. Okay. Well, let's try. Okay, let's try it. Okay, let's queue it up. Oh my freaking god, 14 minutes. Yay. Well, let's see if that makes it any easier. I don't know, I think we need at least 4 people just to make this possible unsynced if necessary. Yeah, I may have to do this unsynced. We may have to do it unsynced if you don't get anybody. Whenever the game tells you the average wait time is like less than 5 minutes. I mean, I could go healer as well. Not my first choice at all. But if it helps queue time, so be it. At least we're not alone. I mean, I could try going healer as well, but I don't know if that's gonna help. Might as well. Might as well. Let's try it. Again, not my first choice. We'll see. You would think, you know, having healers or tanks on the queue would help. Who knows? Oh, let me see if he can do it. Let's see if he can do it. It doesn't look right. Let's try again. Okay, that's better. I mean, the camera angle helps. That's better. You know, I was not expecting another trial. Then again, the previous expansions more or less did the same thing as well. So look at the formula. Shadowbringers 73, then 79. So yep, very similar. Although in Stormblood they did 63 and 67. Okay. Okay. 1 minute 30. I don't know how I got lucky on the healer side of things in that dungeon run. Yeah, that is unsurprising. It sounds like we're probably gonna need at least 4 players just to do this unsynced. At least 4 players. I could be wrong on that, but that's what my gut feeling is telling me. You only need like 1 volunteer of a high level to do a level 50 unsynced. But this is level 89, so you're gonna need more volunteers. Maybe 4 will be enough. 2.5 minutes. Nothing. Nothing on 2.5 minutes. You would think having healers already for this would help queue time. Who knows? Oh yeah. So 3 minutes. I'll try asking an FC now. If we get 2 volunteers, it might be enough. Maybe. Yeah, 3.5 minutes now. Nothing so far. Yep, so far, nothing. Four and a half minutes, nothing. Yep. Yeah, 5 minutes, nothing. Yeah, 2 healer strategy did not work. Yep. Let's see if we can... Let's see if this queue is gonna help. Wow. Nothing. I remember queuing for another trial or a raid earlier in this game. It took volunteers of at least was it 3 players, including myself, just to even get one. Oh, no, I think it was 2 players at the time, just to even get it going. Oh my god. You would think having both healers and a tank would help the queue times. Nope. Nope. Okay. Okay. Nothing. Okay. And when we hit the 5-minute mark, if we still don't get anything, we are probably gonna have to do it, yeah. Yep. 2 more minutes. Yep, another 2.5 minutes. I don't think we're gonna get anybody. Probably gonna have to do this unsynced. I mean, sure, you could do it with duty support, but nah. Okay, 1 minute left. Yep, still nothing. Yep, 30 more seconds. Still nothing. Nope. Yep, 5 minutes, nothing. Okay, let's try this unsynced. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go.
I, the last of my kind, shall test thee. Come, prove thy worth!
Okay.
Have you the strength of will to alter man's fate? A change of arms. May the test continue.
Okay. Okay.
We're near or far. And now this. Light unyielding.
Just trying to imagine this doing it synced.
By blade.
Okay.
We're near or far.
Okay.
By blade.
Oh, and I almost died again. Oh boy.
Crystals of light. To me.
Next phase.
Here. The song of creation's end. Feel. The sorrow at hope's demise.
And of course I died. Of course.
And find your way in the darkness.
I don't know if there was any way I would avoid dying from there. Well, only thing I can do is just watch. I really was hoping to have done this battle sync, you know, with actual players, but
follow your light.
The thing I can do is watch.
Or fly, my children, and never look back. Then you are resolved.
Alright, the next
But this
phase.
test is far from over. By Crystal's light!
Armed with a hero's blade. Okay.
We're near or far! We're high or low?
Okay. Alright, we're almost done.
Light unyielding!
I'm surprised. Then again, you have to do this. When that prompt appears, you need to have lots of party members to absorb the damage. It's just a shame that had to happen to me. I don't know. Okay. Again, I'm just trying to picture this, if this was an actual synced battle. It's interesting to see the mechanics happen.
By blade!
Oh, we're almost done. Thanks to the help of the Free Company members. Thank you. I can only imagine how long I had to wait just for human players to queue up for this particular trial, or get me queued up to this. Thank God there's generous people to help out here. My God, I would have spent who knows how long. 6 minutes? That's not bad.
At last, man has the strength to.
Well, at least we made it. There were light waves? And there we go, thank you. Okay, here we go. After that, what do we get? All right.
No, this can't be happening.
Yep. So much sacrifice in this game.
Though my power is in constant flux, I have always kept a reserve for this very moment. It was a true test of your prowess. You have done well.
There is one thing I must ask. By sundering the world into 14 shards, the ether of all living beings too was divided. This reduction would in theory allow us to more easily interact with Dynamis. Having seen mankind brought to the very precipice of extinction, you wished for us to develop a means to overcome despair. You believed we had the potential, and sundered all creation to see it fulfilled, to deliver us to that swirling maelstrom of dynamis in which our foe hides, and grant us the power to defeat her once and for all. Is this not true?
It is as thou sayest. 'Twas the trial to which I subjected mankind, and it hath led to untold bloodshed and suffering. There was no kindness, nor justice in the tragedy I wrought.
Oh, so all of this, so all of that was kind of needless? Lovely.
When confronted with the almighty Zodiac, my only recourse was rend him and the world asunder, that his power be diminished for a time. And so it came to pass. Now you, my chosen, have surpassed my expectations, surpassed me. I entrust the fate of the universe unto you.
It would have been nice to see Heidelin fight alongside us on the final battle.
This crystal contains the memory of Meteion's passage through the stars. Deliver it unto the Loporrits. They will guide you to her.
It's kind of sad that it has come to this. After all these years. But we have to do what needs to be done.
Though they may be capable of crossing great distances, there is a vast difference between traveling to the moon and the furthermost reaches of the great expanse. And unlike Meteion, we cannot simply soar on waves of dynamis to our destination.
Indeed. To make such a journey would require an astronomical amount of ether.
Oh god. Yeah, are you watching this? And it involves Heidelin. Another sacrifice. Am I reading this right? Based on this? Oh my god. So much sacrifice already. Oh my god. As if all the people we have lost wasn't enough. There's more. Oh, Jesus. What a depressing story, in a way. You fight, you adventure to the path to victory at a price. Lovely.
But a solution lieth close at hand.
I can only, again, I think I know where this is going.
Of course.
Yes, my child. Ever since I became the will of the star, the ether drawn here had slowly crystallized. They who have answered my call know it well. While I have remained hidden, it hath become the embodiment of the planet's will in my place. A faceless, omnipotent force of nature. The Mother Crystal. Our final hope.
The one we saw earlier in the game. Oh boy. Oh boy. But that means Heidelin will pass.
I can do no more. The fulfillment of this task doth fall to you, my chosen. Now, heed these words. Darkness and light, despair and hope. As goeth one, so goeth the other. Become light, become hope. I have a gift for thee. Come closer.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Long have I searched for a means to safeguard the future of this star. Though I knew failure after failure, by recalling thy tales and my promise to thee, I found the strength to carry on. Though the world is ever changing, thy thirst for adventure hath never waned. Thine unshakable resolve never ceases to amaze, to inspire. As a mark of my gratitude, I bestow this final gift. Thou dost possess the Crystal of Azum, yes? As Heidelin, I reside over the forces of stasis, tranquility, peace. The laws which impart stability to existence itself. I will weave this self-same power into the crystal, granting thee mastery over matter, to give form to the formless. Use it wisely, for it will not last indefinitely. As thou hast seen on thy journey through the ethereal sea, souls are drawn to thee. Mayhap this trait will prove to be a boon rather than a hindrance. It is thy hopes and prayers that enable Azum's invocations and give them life. So keep them close. But pray, remember this. When the way forward is hidden, even from the mind's eye, look not to the invocation, but within yourself. These were the words of the crystal's original bearer. With that, my work is finished. Fulfill our promise. Right the wrongs committed when the world was yet whole. Silence the song of oblivion. Teach her a brighter melody. Show her our journey is far from over.
We will find our way, but not.
Of this, I have no doubt. For yours is a light brilliant beyond measure.
This reminds me of Mass Effect 2 in characters
Long
crying.
after I have gone, though not even my soul remaineth, my love will be with you forever, my dearest children.
Man. So much sacrifice. As if we haven't had enough sacrifice already happen in this game. Oh boy. Boy. Lovely. So much sacrifice. Oh my god. So many goodbyes, and at this point, it has become like, you know, a tradition at this game. Like, oh my god. Okay. Did you meet Heidelin? Pray tell, how is she? Oh god. Thank goodness. Never forgiven myself. Had any become to harm. She has given all she can. You must surely know with Father and the Laportes at once that it cannot go to waste. You know, Nia, I don't feel terrible. I feel the depression, but I'm kind of used to it at this point. Yeah, I'm kind of used to it at this point. I'll keep Highland's ward in my heart. Its talisman and lodestone both. A bit small for a welcoming party, but I've never been one for crowds. She and Highland were two of a kind, weren't they? Full of love for the star and its people, always holding to hope for a future. It's not just Endwalker Nia, but games in general. I'm kind of used to depression in a way. I was like, oh boy, what now? Far be it from me to refute Highland's own words. Yet even if her actions were neither kind nor just, we can yet give them a nobler meaning. It can make her fate the salvation of mankind. If Dynamis is ruled by emotion, perhaps prayer has more tangible results than I suspected, albeit ones that are not always obvious to us. In which case, we may hope that Heidelin's wishes continue to move the hearts of men as they set forth time and time again. It's fortunate that Fortune Oath had kept Livingway apprised of our progress. We require the Laporte's aid more than ever. Okay. I'm glad to see you well. Though we could roughly place your souls, deep as you went, we could neither see nor hear you. The fluctuations in the ether near the end gave me quite a fright. What in the world happened? Well... Not exactly a conclusion we were all expecting, but it happened. You mean to say Heidelin is... Yes. No, there's no time to feel our feelings. We must carry Heidelin's will without delay. We'll find Nitian if it's the last thing we do. If you don't mind handing over the crystal, that is. The fancy navigatory one. To the edge of the universe, where congregates the despair of countless stars, you are determined to see this through? We are. Should words fail us, we will fight to the bitter end. I know that it pains you to accept this, but that I need ask nothing more of you. Yet we have only two means to travel the great expanse: the moon and Charlian's Ark. I'm all too aware that without both of them, there will be no exodus. But I nevertheless beg you to honor the agreement we made. The Forum's decision will be honored. You have earned the right to use the ship as you see fit, and I could not rescind it even if I wanted to. As it happens, I do not, and will do all within my power to aid your cause. With that settled, might I suggest you rest a while? Proving oneself to Heidelin is never easy, and despite our unparalleled genius, we'll need a day to make the necessary calculations. You may as well take advantage of it. You can chart a course through the Sea of Stars in a single day? You gods. Shall we head above ground for some fresh air then? And perhaps a nap. I think we're gonna wrap things up here with this quest. One thing's for sure, on Tuesday, I will probably see the new map. I'll probably see the new zone, Nia, on Tuesday. That's where I plan to do this on a longer session. Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up here. I guess the game gives us another chance to talk to another character of our choosing, or does the game like be like, nah, no, we will only have one choice. Or does the game actually give you a chance to get, you know, different choices? That'd be nice. That's what I'm thinking here. But, yeah, let's see what happens. Here we go. Here we go. One more cutscene, I think. One more. I like the lighting here. No, thanks, Nia.
There you are. Some time, indeed. Yes. For you, at least. Believe me, I'd meant to get some proper sleep. But here we are, drifting along instead.
Is that what I think?
Well, you too. And so we remain to watch and wonder. Yes, indeed. To begin, we first must see the end.
Oh, that's it? Oh, that's it? Okay, I thought there was gonna be more. Okay. A great many of the helping hands to deliver Damantite are still here in Charlotte, and I for one could be happier. Between the Burner to be refurbished, supplies to be transported, and meals to be prepared, we need all the assistance we can get. Even Lord Emmanillion has been doing his part. albeit at a snail's pace. Still, it's the thought that counts, but a bit more effort wouldn't go amiss. A bold decision. Well, that's it. On Tuesday, I will cover this game more, and hopefully we'll go to the final zone, or wherever Meteon has her hideout, wherever that is. You know, I was gonna do a comparison to Mass Effect 2 again, but I haven't reached that point in the game yet. So if you have time on Tuesday, Nia, I'll see it for the first time, and I'll make the comparison. Alright, and with that being said, I'm gonna see you guys again on this game on Tuesday to see how it goes. I've already caught up to most of the quests. Did all the Aether Currents. Yeah, I did all the Aether Currents. It's the final zone we gotta reach. That's it. Anyway, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Can't wait to see the rest of this story, and I'll try to do some of the duty roulettes for once. Thank you.